Hi everybody. Today I'm going to teach you how to find the main idea in a text. When you are reading a text, many main ideas may pop up. The important thing is that you are able to identify the best one. I want you to watch as I read a text, jot down main ideas as they appear, weigh and rank the ideas by their supports, and then keep reading to make sure that that idea is the main idea. Watch me as I do this.
Screen is doing to your eyes. Nearly a third of adults spend more than half their waking hours.
I meant to say that the title of this text is How to Avoid Eye Strain when using the computer. So I'm going to be tracking the main idea through this text.
Their waking hours using a digital device. Dr. Christopher Starr is an ophthalmologist at Weill Cornell Medical Center right here in New York City, and we welcome you, Doctor, back to the table.
Thanks for having me back.
So whether it's your computer screen or your BlackBerry or your iPhone, staring at it for a long period of time is a bad thing because...
Yeah, well, it does two things to our eyes. One,
right, I want to pause it here. So right off the bat, I have a hint that the main idea might be that staring at a screen for too long is harmful, because I know that this video is going to give me some reasons for why it's harmful and some tips for how to avoid it being harmful. So I'm going to take this main idea and just put it over here. And as I continue watching, I now want to see what other main ideas pop up.
Causes fatigue and eye strain. We stare at something up close for hours and hours, and some of us are using these things for up to 9 hours a day. Your eye muscles have to focus at that near range, and that can be fatiguing. You can imagine if you were in a gym and you held a dumbbell, and your bicep would be extremely sore 9 hours later. You wouldn't do it. Same thing for your eyes. You have to take breaks to relieve those muscles. The other thing is dryness. So when we're staring at these computers, especially if the computer is at eye level, we're kind of like staring with our eyes open, and there's a lot of exposure. Talk about an eye opener in the morning, staring at computers. And when you're not blinking, when we're on computers, our blink rate can decrease by up to 50%. Normally we blink about 20 times a minute, 15 times a minute. That can decrease by 50%. And when you're not blinking and you're staring and your eyes are wide open, those tears evaporate very quickly. You get dry spots that can cause blurred vision. It can cause redness, pain, and over the course of a day, it just worsens and worsens.
So are you simply recommending we not watch the screen so much, or are you?
Well, you know, the computers aren't going anywhere, mobile devices aren't going anywhere. They're very useful, obviously, and we're all sort of tied to them. So we're not saying don't use them. We're saying when you do use them wisely and smartly. And so what we...
Okay, so in that segment, I jotted down 3 new ideas that came up. Number 1, some of us use devices for 9 hours a day. Number 2, eye dryness is a problem. And number 3, when you use a device, use it wisely. Now, I'm going to continue listening to hear for some possible other main ideas.
Recommend to reduce this, what's called computer vision syndrome is the name it's been given, is to follow something called the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes that you're on a computer or mobile device, look away from the computer at an object that's 20 feet away or further for 20 seconds or more. And that will let those eye muscles relax and feel better.
Do people really do that? Do you do that?
I try to. I try to,
You're in the middle of something.
It's hard. It's hard to, and so what I usually say is put a little reminder on your computer, put a little sticky note that says blink, or put a little bottle of artificial tears next to your monitor. As that dryness gets worse and worse, you have to try to remember to blink more often. And if your eyes get really irritated, grab that bottle of artificial tears or lubricant and put a drop in, and that'll soothe the eye temporarily.
I have to pry these devices away from my kids.
Yes.
And they're starting so young. What's the potential
Isn't that
impact
interesting?
there?
Yeah, the kid. Well, we don't know actually. It's still kind of early. My generation, we didn't have these devices when I was a kid.
Okay, so here's another main idea that's just appeared, that digital use can impact kids in the future. So now I have 5 main ideas from what I've watched so far. That some of us use devices for 9 hours a day. Staring at a screen for too long is harmful. Dryness is a problem. when you use a device, use it wisely. And digital use can impact kids in the future. Now, out of these 5 main ideas, I want to choose the one that I can track across the entire text. And at first glance, I'm noticing that some of these things that I jotted down as ideas are really just details. They're actually evidence, they're supports. Such as some of us use devices for 9 hours a day. Maybe that could be a support for when you use a device, use it wisely. So I'm just going to attach this to the bottom of my main idea, and this is now going to become a support. Staring at a screen for too long is harmful. Now, this is pretty broad. There's no data, there are no numbers, there are no quotes, so it's not a support. I think it is a main idea, and throughout the text, there were several things that could support this main idea. The idea that eye strain and dryness are a problem. The evidence that people need natural light. And the fact that dryness is a problem. And then I have my final main idea, that digital use can impact kids in the future. Now, when I look at these 3 main ideas that are left, digital use can impact kids, staring at a screen can be harmful, or when you use a device, use it wisely. I'm torn between these last 2 for being the main idea. I'm torn between these 2 because I can find evidence for both of these across the entire text. But ultimately, I can track this main idea from beginning to end. The whole reason why doctors need to tell us how to use screens wisely is because it is harmful. So ultimately, I think my main idea is this, that staring at a screen for too long can be harmful. I want to remind you the steps that I used to identify this main idea. First, you read or watch or listen. Then you jot down ideas as they appear. Then you weigh or rank the ideas depending on their supports. And then you keep reading to make sure that this is correct. So